Hello everybody, so here is Black Angel again, and I'm here with a video about ESFPs. So why am I talking about ESFPs? This quarantine has brought to my attention that there are actually two flavors of ESFPs. So I'm not going to say that it corresponds to the subtypes, because it is possible that it does, but it is also possible that it doesn't. Personally, I think it's rather about if the ESFP chooses a lifestyle and companies companies meaning friends, that support their uh, um, their personality, or if they choose companies friends that instead kill their personality. So we are all subject to that kind of thing. And all of us can make mistakes in choosing friends. So here I'm talking about two specific people that I have noticed out there that are the same type and that are living this quarantine in two opposite ways. And they are both bodybuilders. They are both ESFPs, and they have a very different approach to life. Um, you can see that they are both ESFPs in their way to approach sports and in their way to handle situations in general. What I have noticed about one is that, well, both of them tend to surround themselves with extroverted feelers. But one of the two, I suspect, is surrounded by TI users. The other one instead seems to be completely indifferent to anything surrounding him, which is basic ESFP attitude. The other would too, but I think he's too bombed by all this TI in some way. Anyway, here's what is going on. One of these two guys is having shit ton of fun staying at home. Like, seriously, shit ton of fun. Extroverted sensing dominants are supposed to be the guys that would have to tell us what to do now, that we don't, that nobody knows what the hell we're supposed to be doing. That's what they are supposed to do. That's why I say that it's not my thing. Because I'm not the kind of person that comes up with all of these activities to do. If you leave me to my device, to my own devices, I will end up not knowing what to do at all. Basically, I'll end up with working, and basically working more, which is what I am doing right now. Anyway, uh, yeah. So going back to our ESFPs, ESFPs are tornadoes, basically. So this one guy is basically having a shit ton of fun at home. And that's because he's finding new ways to exercise, like he's using those little pads of fabric that are used to walk on wooden floors. He's using that to make exercises. Or he walks like 30 minutes or 25 minutes on the roof, like in circles. And he makes a video about himself walking around the roof, like, and he's like laughing like crazy. He's having like a great time all the time. And I really envy that kind of ability that this guy has of making the most out of any situation. Like, he's like, okay, I'm home. I have a lot of assets here at home, a lot of things that I can do. He is a nerd bodybuilder, as I like to call him, because he plays video games and he's got interests online too. And he's basically the kind of person that is a volcano of ideas and always knows what the hell he can do in any situation. So he used to post a lot of videos about himself being outside, being at the disco, being at swimming pool parties, dinner outside, anything that you can think he was doing out there. Plus, he's a model, so He was really doing a shit ton of things outside, and his first post after the quarantine says, nothing changed. I was used to staying home, and I'm like, when? Anyway, yeah, he's like, okay, nothing changed. I'm used to staying home, and I'm gonna show you what I'm doing at home. And he's basically posting more than before, and he's got all of these things to do, and he's basically even forgetting about his cats. I mean, he feeds them and everything, but he's not posting as many pictures about his cats because he's got all these things to do and all of these activities, and he's basically following his account right now is like having a boost of good mood uh, coming out of nowhere. And he's hilarious, like literally hilarious. He gets to be hilarious, not even saying a word. So that's one flavor of the ESFP. On the other hand, on the other side, though, we have the other flavor of ESFP, who is still a volcano of energy. But this other guy instead, which is another bodybuilder, seems to be burdened by this quarantine. He's alternating posts in which he shows how many things he can do. He even found a solution to move somewhere where there is a huge gym that only he can use because he's got a lot of money. And yeah, so basically he's got plenty of solutions to his problems, but still he keeps posting posts where he keeps saying how depressed he is, how bad he has it because this quarantine's locked him at home and he wanted to go out and he cannot do what he wants and he's so desperate about that. And he's basically pouring his bad mood all over the net, and it's unbearable. Trust me, an EFSP pouring his bad mood on you is like making yourself implode and explode simultaneously. It's really unbearable, emotionally speaking. And this guy is making a hell of a job burdening the entire net with his bad mood. And it's really impossible to describe, undescribable, literally. And I had to basically block him out because it's really too much for me to handle. There's basically all of this bad mood stuff going on, and the only way to go with this flow is to humor him. Like, you tell him that he's right, that you agree with him, that you know that he's got it. That's the only way to handle a bad mood in an ESFP. You basically humor them and you go with the flow. There's no other way out of there. And personally, I have nothing to do with this person, so I don't feel I don't think that it's my place to humor this guy, so I'll let that be done by others. But if I have to be entirely honest, I suspect that the problem this guy has is his girlfriend. I think his girlfriend is somewhere between an INTP or an ENTP. That she's something like that. Anyway, she is the kind of person that goes with conspiracy theories. She's the kind of person that mocks the shit out of anyone. I think she's really bad for him. He thinks he's happy. He thinks she's perfect for him. So she's basically perfect for him. But I disagree with that. But I'm an outsider, so well, what do I know? Anyway, as an MBTI person, I can see, as someone that knows a lot about MBTI and socionics, and based on socionics, I can see that this couple may have a lot of interests in common, but they're not helping each other. What basically strikes me is that the ESFP seems to be the most affected, and I expected the ESFPs to be the least affectable type of all, which apparently they're not. I tend to see them as invulnerable, but this guy is living proof that ESFPs are not invulnerable, which worries the shit out of me. But anyway, Yeah, imagine you have this idea that a specific type is basically Superman, and all of a sudden one person of that type proves to you that they're not Superman. And you're like, okay, so if Superman does not exist and Santa is not a living being, what the hell is the world right now? It makes my world crumble, basically, to see this guy react like that. Um, this is basically what I wanted to share with you. ESFPs are creative with emotions. And when I say creative with emotions, I don't mean that they create emotional environments like ESFJs do, for example. The ESFJs are the woo girls. Once again, they are that kind of person that woo woo and go around like that and basically pull everybody in and yeah, let's do this string thing and let's sing all together. That's an ESFJ. That's not an ESFP. ESFPs are something very different. They're a lot quieter in a way. They do not have this emotionality going on around them. They look serious from the outside. They look more serious. They look more imperturbable seen from outside. And they have this kind of cool kind of pose. They basically they are your kings of the situation. If you look at an ESFP man, you have this kind of feeling of being in front of royalty in some way. Even if they're poor as shit, you are in front of royalty in some way. They have this elegant, very, very proud in a good way kind of attitude. And they kind of instill peace and calm in others. That's their basic attitude. But when they start being creative with their emotions, what they actually do is they change your internal mood. They are basically doing nothing externally. They're not being explosive or anything, but with one word, an ESFP changes your whole internal state. Then they can do huge damage or fix your shit like this way, emotionally speaking. And Socionics says that they like to judge the shit out of anything, ethically speaking, and that would be their creativity. Personally, I do not have experience of that. I have never noticed anything like that out there. Well, there's this guy, the one that is leaving the quarantine not very happily ever after. Well, actually, very sadly ever after. This guy spends a lot of time ethically judging the shit out of bullies, which makes sense, I guess. And I think that maybe I do not perceive it as judgment because it's very reasonable what they say. Anyway, yeah, the other one instead, I basically never hear judging anything, but he's very professional, so it's possible that he keeps everything outside of the net and outside of the of this thing of Instagram and everything. So yeah, there's this thing that I wanted to share about ESPs. They can be goofballs, or they can be the most burdening and the most heavy of all emotional burdens that there are out there. Another thing that I can tell you is when an ESFP's emotionality becomes burdening and you care about the person, it's easier to humor that, actually. Personally, I have an instinct for humoring an ESFP's bad mood, unless I feel it's not my place to do that. So yeah, I'm trying to say something that is difficult to say. Anyway, yeah. I think I will close this here. This is basically everything I have about this thing. I just wanted to share a couple of thoughts. Once again, before I close it, I don't think it has to do with subtypes, but it could. It could, obviously, because a higher introverted feeling provides a higher focus on a person's internal states. Whereas a lower introverted feeling means a stronger accent on extroverted sensing and on the leading function. So it could be that the one that is spreading bad moods is actually an ESFP with a stronger FI, whereas the goofball, is instead an ESFP with a lower FI. So with a stronger accent on extroverted sensing. So that's a possibility. Introverted functions are gloomy for the most part. Introverted thinking is extremely cold. Introverted feeling is extremely moody. Gloomy, sorry, not moody. It's gloomy. Introverted intuition is also very gloomy. They are basically the dark functions. They are the inside, the closest thing that person has to their subconscious is the introverted function. So wherever the introverted function flourishes, you have a gloomier kind of behavior or kind of attitude. I think the exception to that might be INFJs. INFJs tend to be bubbly, but yeah, they do have their gloomy side too. They're said to be extremely melancholic in a kind of way. A lot of people that I see typed INFJ online actually have, not by people, but by experts, I mean, do have this kind of pensive attitude, this kind of in the clouds pensive kind of attitude. So they also have their gloomy side. INFPs are probably INFPs, yeah. INFPs are probably the gloomiest of all, if we exclude INTJs, obviously. I think I will make a video about INTJs again, but not today. I would think I will close this thing here, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.